Hello and welcome to Alexis and Melinda's Art Space. It's Melinda and just doing another art journal page. I've got a new headset and a new microphone, so let me know how this voiceover compares, like the voice quality compared to other voiceover videos I've done. It'd be interesting to know. Hopefully I don't. Sometimes I've just used the mic on my laptop and I sound like I'm in a closet or in the toilet, as I say. So hopefully the quality of this voice is a lot better. I must apologise for my voice as well. It's a bit croaky, but hey, we're going to do this anyway. So working in my altered wine book, I've only got 3 pages to go in this wine book that evolved into 2 wine books, and sort of took me about 3 years to fill up. I love working in altered books, either using the pictures that are in the books in my artwork or just using the books. So this was a pre-gessoed page and I was spraying the little birdie ink sprays, and I found out they don't like gesso. So I will have to leave those ink sprays for when I have ungessoed surfaces, because it just didn't like the surface of it. So that piece of paper I actually put on top and tried to stop up some of the ink. I do like the impressions I got, and I end up in just a little minute sticking that piece of paper on top. I just didn't like the look of the gessoed pages with the ink over the top. So just giving that a good old dry off. I should have cut a bit of that drying time out. I feel funny sitting here with my headset on. It's like it's actually Alexis's that I'm borrowing. She wanted a new pair of like headphones for her phone when she listens to her movies, and I don't particularly want to listen to them. And this one actually had a bonus microphone attached to it, so I thought I would pinch it when she's not using it and see if it would be good for my voicing over of my videos. I have been wanting to get a microphone for a while. I just didn't know what sort of one to get. So just back to what I'm doing on the screen, just added some Little Birdie matte gel medium, which is becoming one of my favourites, especially when I can get it 40% off at Lincraft. So watch out, my local Lincraft, next time we have a 40% off sale, I'll be down there grabbing all your bottles on your shelf. So I like it because it's matte and it's affordable and it's a good product. I was going through, when I did these videos, I had all the Little Birdie products out on my desk, so I kept reaching for those. So I do love the colours in this. I didn't know where this layout was going this particular night. I filmed this a couple of months ago and I just wanted to sit down and play. I didn't know where I was going or what I was doing with this page, and just wanted to play around with the inks. When I get new supplies, I love just to get them out and play around with them, especially sprays and paints and matte gel mediums and things like that, and even water soluble crayons and stamps, so just to have a play. And that's great. Your art journal can be your place to play. So I decided I didn't really like the green after all. So I decided to grab one of my stencils I sell in my store. I'm not sure whether these 12-inch ones are on my website yet. My website is linked below. This one is my Jewels of the Sea, I believe I call it. So I decided to take some black gesso. Because this one is very fine and you're blocking in a lot of the black, it will only leave like small portions of the colour. So this is a good stencil for this technique because you are blocking out a lot of the colour. Again, this stencil was hanging around on my desk, hence why it got picked up. I tend to art journal like that. I tend to grab only what's on my desk, and I did a big whoopsie in a minute. I decided there was black gesso on the the stencil, so I decided to put some of this. The paper off the roll is grease-proof paper from Woolworths, and it's almost like our equivalent in Australia, easily available deli paper. Almost disappears when you collage it down. And I noticed I got nice black ink on my other art journal there, which is just protecting or just covering up another page. I didn't want you to be distracted. Ideally I do double pages in my art journal. I do like double pages, but sometimes I do work on single pages as well. And this book has, I think, 3 single pages, and 2 of them black and white photos I'm trying to finish up. I love this background on how this worked out. The pops of colour, the pops of orange and green coming through. So I decided to go to my collection of magazines and find some wacky quotes for this one, or wacky pictures. Again, I didn't know what I was doing. And this big plate of sort of cacti and citrus that I'd cut out sort of was jumping out at me and matched sort of the colours, so I thought we'll go with that. Then I thought I'd put my own spin on it. Nothing can be stuck down in a normal way in my life. My life is never normal. I'm always outside that normality box. So I decided to grab some legs and stick them onto the plate and grab a couple of heads just to make it weird and wonderful. It's my life lately, it's weird and wonderful, but I wouldn't swap it for anything. Crazy, weird and wonderful. I don't share a lot of my personal life on my YouTube channel. This is more my arty side and weird side. A few of my YouTube friends will understand what has been happening this year. So just cutting around the cactuses. I just love the plate. This reminds me a bit of Halloween. Maybe I'm channeling my inner Halloween a few months earlier. So just cutting around and having the head stuck out of the plate and some legs. Alexis didn't like the legs. She liked the heads. I've worked out I do not actually show Alexis my art journal pages anymore because she's quite demoralising with her comments. She doesn't do it in a mean way, but she does it in an interesting way. It's just Alexis. But I like it. And that's the good thing about art journaling is if the owner of the page likes it, no one else has to like it in the entire world. You don't have to share it with anyone apart from me that shares my pages, good or bad or indifferent, weird and wonderful on YouTube. But also within my channel, I'm wanting to show you that not every page has to be pretty and lovely and fantastic. So just gluing with a glue stick all my magazine collage pieces together. I love collecting magazine collage. And there's the first yawn for the video. It's seriously, I shouldn't be tired. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Really? I thought I'd experiment with these headsets. I'm waiting on something to finish and thought I would grab it a few minutes. So just gluing them together so I can glue one piece down. So I grab out my matte Mod Podge. Not sure why I didn't grab for the little birdie again. Maybe I'd finish that little pot. Not sure why I grabbed for this one. But matte Mod Podge, this is the paper version of matte Mod Podge. Matte Medium are all sort of the same. It's like going to Coles or Safeway and buying the same sort of product. Yes, they're slightly different, but they sort of do the same thing. So just, I do prefer matte gel medium, but I will use Mod Podge. I'm sort of a snob, not a product snob, but a price snob, if you can call it that way. So whatever's on special, if I'm out, usually I have several bottles up my sleeve because I do buy in bulk, especially the products that I know I'm going to use, like gesso, like matte medium. I do grab them when they're on special, and some of the ink sprays and things I know I will use. I do go ahead and have a bulk lot of a stash. Usually I'm getting quite down on my stash at the moment. I've been doing lots of art lately. So just making sure that's well glued down. I decided to glue over the entire page because even though matte gel medium is matte, it still has a bit of a shine or a bit of a difference on the page. So even though I go underneath where I'm going to stick my image and then over the top, because there wasn't much page around this, I decided to coat the entire page just to even out the playing field so there's not a distinct look on the page of where the magazine starts and stops. And matte gel medium also takes away the glossiness of a magazine. A lot of fashion magazines are very glossy. Well, all of the magazines are very glossy, apart from your Frankies and your Flows and things like that. So putting matte gel medium over a glossy image will actually matte the image down so it's not so shiny. So now I decided I wanted to do some journaling. I grabbed my favourite white pen at the moment, which is a whiteout pen. White pens and I are not friends. I kill a lot of white pens. But I love this fine tipped whiteout pen from Officeworks. Pack of 2 for $5. There's a budget supply that I can use. I love to use that as opposed to a Posca white pen, which I've had so much trouble with. So a lot of my journaling in my art journal is to get thoughts and feelings out of my head and put them somewhere. So once they're out of my head, they're out of my head. What I was journaling about this day was how our plate of life, or our referring to life as a plate, how our plate is often full with weird and wonderful things in life that we have to cope with. We're often given curveballs. So I grabbed a white Stabilo oil pencil just to give it a bit of a scratchy look, and then I do go and put some white on the succulents and that, just to give them a bit of dimension as well. So a lot of the times the journaling or the writing I do in my art journal isn't supposed to be read. It's supposed to get the thoughts out of my head on paper so they're gone. And yes, sometimes I can sit here and read them, but this particular one and the type of that pen, you probably won't read them on the screen, but that's fine. It's basically just talking about how my plate has been full this year. Wouldn't swap this year for the world, but it's been a tough year, but that's okay. My art is getting me through. I need to get back into my art. I've had about 4 weeks of not much art, too much work. I've got to have a balance on my plate. You know, like the vegetable, the meat and the starch that they say have a balance on your plate? Yeah, 90% of my plate has to be art. So just a few stills at the end. It is hard to get still images. So thank you for watching, and do let me know if this voiceover is better quality in the voice. I know my voice is a bit scratchy at the moment. I've been doing way too much talking. But if the quality of the voice is better than any other of my voice over videos. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.